Hello, and welcome to my gym. It's just me. Do you mind if I carry you in? That's not weird, is it? So, I recently got asked to make a tour of my gym, and I thought this might be fun from a few angles. So, first, how did I build this? Was it cheap, expensive, or whatnot? And maybe motivate you to show you could do something like this without spending too much money. Second, what have I done to spice it up? And third, obviously because of what I do and creating all these YouTube reviews, I have a lot of equipment. But if I had to narrow it down to maybe 3 of my favorite things to create a balanced home gym, what would I pick? All right, let's jump in. And to really appreciate how far this room has come, you need to understand where it started. And that was when we bought this house. It was a home theater. Pretty sweet, right? No. And there's a few reasons for that. First, the room was dark, and not in the I want to go watch a movie there way, more in the creepy I'll never enter that room in my life type of way. Second, it was dirty, and this is more of the I could spend a week cleaning in there and still feel like the room was dirty. It was just old and grungy. There wasn't much you could do. And third, the flooring had this amazing ability to capture every aroma that had ever passed through it in the last 45 years and make sure you smelled all of them at once, at all times. So I got to work, and the first thing I did was paint the walls, brighten it up, clean it up, and just made it inviting. Painted the baseboard white, cleaned it up, and brightened it up. Interesting angle, I know, but I want to point out the ceiling because this was falling apart. The pieces had separated. It was so dark, dirty, and just ugly, and it needed to be addressed, but I didn't have the money to do much, and that's part of the theme of this video is that you can make things happen without spending a lot of money. And basically, I spray glued it back together, painted every piece. It was a ton of work, but it changed the room completely, made it feel a lot better. It's not perfect, but a huge improvement, little investment as far as money, just a lot of time. And then there were the floors. Now this had extremely thin carpet on it, and under that carpet was rubber padding that had been glued down to the concrete, and this was a lot of work to get out. I had to pull the carpet, scrape the padding, and then I had to rent a tool that had blades on the bottom and spun and scraped all that glue and leftover padding back down to concrete. And I could have stopped here. I could have just had a concrete floor that I painted or epoxied or whatever. And the point here, and this is the moral of the story for anybody that just wants to be inspired and realize you can make a space yours. At this point, I had spent very little money. Rentals, some tools, some paint, some glue. Not a lot of money, just a lot of work, but I had a space that now felt very good. It was clean, it was brightened, it was a lot of fun to go in there, and when I came in here, I felt motivated. 1, because I created the space, but 2, it just felt good. It was freshened up, it was light, everything was new. So if you want to make a space yours, you can do it. Probably a minimal investment, just some work. But I decided not to stop there. The one thing I did want to put a little money into was these floors. And these are rubber mats, so they came in big rolls that were extremely heavy. I had to carry them down here, unroll them, and then I just put tape in between the seams or in between the rolls to hold them together, and it has been everything for this gym. They still look like the day I bought them. I can drop weights on them, I can put machines down on, and they're never gonna slide across the room. They just work perfectly for a home gym. So I don't regret this purchase one bit. I think it was a little over $1,000. So if that is an area you wanted to go, you could do that. But again, you don't need to at all. And you could put minimal money into something to make it pretty special. So now I had a nice cleaned up room, but didn't really feel like a gym yet. So I needed to make some changes. And obviously the equipment that I was gonna buy and use was part of that. And I'll talk about that in just a second. But things like this right here, this organizer, it worked out perfect for me. It made things always available. All these things move around. I was able to tweak it to make it work for whatever I was doing at that point in time, but it also just added that feel to the room. I really appreciate it, but it comes down to finding things that work for you, and this was one for me. Next up was a TV, and while this might seem obvious, there's a lot more to TVs these days than you think. When it comes to a home gym, so many connected fitness devices can hook up to the TV and take advantage of it, so you can use that TV for more than just watching TV. Second, they're big and cheap these days, so they can use up a lot of your wall real estate, just help fill up that room, give it more purpose, and just make it feel like you filled it up without spending a fortune while getting a lot of functionality. So that's been a nice addition for me. And by the way, hitting that little like button makes the biggest difference for the channel, so if you could, you have all my gratitude. And now we're on the same page on how my home gym came to be and why it's special to me. Not only because it feels good to walk into, but because of how much work I put into it. So every time I step foot in this room, I just have a little bit of pride and it feels good to go tackle whatever I'm gonna be doing. But now, let's wrap it up with that final item, the actual equipment and what makes a home gym, and we'll kick it off with cardio. And you might be thinking, he started this channel on Peloton, he always talks about bikes, it's gotta be something like that, but it's not. If I were to pick a cardio option, I would actually go with a rower. I think it's every bit of cardio that bikes are, if not more, but it's a better complete body workout. Now, a handful of years ago, I would not have said this because rowing is boring, but much like connected fitness made bikes exciting, the same thing for rowers. And if you think the instructor-led experience would be best for you, I would look into the HYDROW. And I wish I had a video for you. Oh wait, I do. But for me personally, I love the gamified experience, and I would look at the ERGATTA or the AVIRON. I love them both. I have a comparison video. I'll put that down there in the description for you if you want to check those out. But cardio, it's rowing for me. Now, when it comes to resistance training, if money is something that you're not concerned about when it comes to buying equipment, I would look at the TONAL. I absolutely love this machine, the content that's built into it, all the features and functionality, how well the machine itself works and the resistance and different ways to use it. It's been fantastic. But that's not the only option I would consider, especially if you don't want to spend that much money. And that leads me to these NORDICTRAK dumbbells. And while that might seem incredibly simple because, well, they're just dumbbells, you can do so many workouts with dumbbells. But in the case of these, and the reason I love them, they take up no room, but they can go from 5 to 50 pounds in 5-pound increments with just a turn of a dial, and it happens so fast. So you can use them fast and easy and do so much with them. And to be honest, when I got these, I just thought I'd do a review and then put them in the corner, but I use them all the time. I really, really enjoy them. And to wrap this up, my last category is going to be called the mix it up category. And when I work out, and I don't know if you're like this, I tend to do things the way I want to do. So when I row, I just row the way I want. I use the game I want. When I lift weights, I do the workouts that I'm comfortable with, and I just do my own thing, which is not the best thing all the time because I'm not mixing it up enough. And options like this kind of take that out of your hands and make you mix it up. Challenge different parts of your body, bring more of a balance to your exercise. So we have the Peloton guide here and we have the FITURE mirror here, and both these kind of do the same thing. They put an instructor in front of you. They take control of what you're going to be doing. They mix up different types of programs. Each content is a little bit different, and you end up doing all these different body weights, resistance training, and different cardio movements that bring an overall balance to your workout and challenge your body so that way when you're done working out, you feel like you got a workout that you wouldn't have done yourself. And I do appreciate that because sometimes I need that in my workout. So this is a mix it up option. So I've left the home gym to give you a sneak peek into something that's coming up, the climber. I am excited to put this video out. This has been fun to test, and I'm wrapping it up right now, so that should be coming out here in a few weeks. But to wrap up this video, as long as you can make a space, you have a space to exercise. You don't need anything special. That room that I just went over, most of that was just hard work, and I didn't really have to put any money into it. I just cleaned up, made it work for the things I wanted to put in there, and I had a space to work out. There's a lot of things like the Peloton guide that all you need is a TV or just some dumbbells and you. There are a lot of ways to work out. So kick the excuses out, figure out what works for you, and make it happen. You can reach your health goals. But if you took anything away from this, hit that like button for me. Subscribe to know when stuff like this comes out. And until next time, here's to a healthier you, and have a good one.